Hello and welcome to another episode of the All About Ability podcast. Hope you all had a good week. I've been really looking forward to this one. Today we're joined by Stephen Miller. This podcast is sponsored by Kyle Financial, specialists in mortgages and protecting your family's finances. Whether you're looking for the best mortgage for you or want to make sure you and your family aren't struggling if you are seriously ill or pass away, call Kyle Financial on 0141 447 0290 or email advice@kylefinancial.co.uk for more information. Stephen is one of Britain's most decorated triathletes, competing for over 25 years, winning a total of 34 international medals, including competing in 6 Paralympic Games and winning 3 gold medals in a row. It was a true privilege to get to speak to him and see different sides of him as well. How funny he is and his personality, and you can see how much of a genuine person he is. And I really enjoyed listening to his story and the way that the drive you can see that he has, and the want to keep going and keep improving even after achieving everything he has achieved. So I hope you all enjoy. Thank you for listening. Okay, so I'm here with Paralympic legend Stephen Miller. How are you doing today, Stephen?
Yeah, hello, it's good to be here. Thanks for having me. I'm doing okay.
No problem at all. It's been a pleasure researching you and all the things you've achieved. It's really remarkable. And one thing that really stuck out to me was you won your first gold medal in 1986, which was actually the year I was born, which is mad. But that made you the youngest ever Paralympic or Paralympian to win gold at Paralympics. Was it Atlanta? Is that right?
Yeah, Atlanta 1996.
And it made me wonder, everyone talks about the pressure of competing at the top level. Before then, you'd had 9 years prior of playing in it. But before we go right into that, do you want to just explain to everyone what your sport is and how you play it?
Yeah, so I do athletics, field athletics, and my main event is called the club throw, and the club throw is unique to the Paralympic Games. It's basically the equivalent to the javelin for my classification. So people athletes with my kind of impairment level, we throw the club instead of the javelin. It's probably because we couldn't coordinate the movement to be able to throw a javelin, and I'd probably end up killing myself if I tried to throw a javelin. So that's my main event. It's the club. It looks a bit like a roundhouse bat. It weighs about 400 grams, and it's made of wood.
And what made you kind of get so invested in the sport?
Well, I was always quite sporty. I was always encouraged to do sport by my parents and at school, and I really enjoyed just taking part in sport. And when I was younger, I tried lots of different sports. Probably my favorite sport is football. But yeah, I kind of realized from a young age I wasn't going to be a professional footballer because although I really enjoyed playing football, I wasn't particularly good at it. So, but yeah, after trying lots of different sports, I kind of had to choose between a few sports that I was really good at. At the time, And I think I chose to do the club throw because I enjoyed it so much. I enjoyed the challenge that it gave me. It's quite a physically demanding sport. And because it's a sport that you do on your own as an individual, there's a lot that you have to take on,
Yeah,
a lot of responsibility. And I just quite like that. I like the idea of trying to get better every day and just having to work really hard at it. So
definitely,
that's
definitely. That's a
yeah,
good
so
message,
that's
mate. It's a good message. So you spoke about the kind of demands of the sport. What kind of physical demands does the club throw at you, so to speak?
so yeah. I mean, yeah, you throw the club, but where I throw the club, I throw it backwards, which is it's quite an unusual technique. It's, I mean, when I first started doing the club, I kind of, I was throwing it forwards because that's where most people did it,
Yeah,
and I couldn't really do it very well throwing it forward. So my coach at the time, who was an ex-Paralympic athlete, he said to me, "Why don't you turn around and throw it backwards?" And as soon as I did that, I knew that was the right technique for me. And I think it's really important to,
yeah,
in life, find what works for you. And everybody's different in their own way. So, for me, that was really important that I found that technique that worked for me. And, and we're throwing the club backwards. Yeah, you put your body under a lot of stress because you're kind of you're bending the wrong way. Yeah, you have to use your whole body to throw the
yeah,
club. It's not just upper body, it's lower body. So you have to use your whole body. So you gotta be strong, you gotta be flexible, and you gotta be really fast. So it's very physically demanding.
and that that's really good to hear because I think people don't understand the amount of effort and work it takes in that kind of sport. And like you say, speaking about the physical challenges and all that, how you've what you had to kind of adapt to figure out the best way for you, and how it's important to figure out what is best for you as an individual.
I think that's a really important point. That, yeah, you, everybody's unique. Everybody has their own strengths and weaknesses. So I think I've always been a big believer in finding your own way in life, having the confidence to experiment and try different things until you find the way for you that works the best.
Yeah,
Um, and in life, there's no such thing as normality. Everybody has their own version of normality, and nobody says the word in the same way. So it's really important that you find out what works for you and go from there.
definitely, definitely. So you started the sport when you were 11, and you ended up being the youngest athlete to compete at the Paralympics and win gold at the age of 16. It got me wondering, what was that journey like for you? At what point did you realise I'm going to be able to compete at the top in this sport?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it happened really quickly. I think I, I did my first international competition at the age of 15. I competed at the Sydney World Games and I came second. And then I also got the qualifying standard for the Paralympics. And then in the next year, I really developed a lot. I became a lot stronger, a lot fitter, and my performance improved a lot in that year up to Atlanta. And then probably more than I expected, really. And then even when I got selected for Atlanta, it was kind of, it was kind of surreal. I couldn't really believe it was happening. And I just finished my GCSEs at school, and then a few weeks later, I'm on the plane to America as part of the GB team. So it all happened really quickly for me, but I had a lot of really good people around me that helped me to keep my feet on the floor and not get too carried away, and to just kind of just focus on enjoying the experience and doing the best performance I could do. And that really helped me to have those people around me.
You mentioned, people keeping your foot on the floor and keeping you grounded to make sure you can just enjoy the experience. From, people talk about how much pressure these kind of events have, and to be 16 in that event, did it kind of, the only way I handled it really was to just sort of not think about it too much and just kind of do what you knew you could do? Or was there any sort of process to handling that pressure at that kind of age?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what I had to do. I had to just focus on myself and not worry about the competition, not worry about everything else going on. I mean, the Paralympics is a massive event. There's a lot going on that can distract you, as the village is massive, the food hall is massive. You can eat what you want pretty much 24 hours a day. So there's a lot of Paralympics that can distract you and derail you
Yeah.
a good performance. So yeah, for me, it was really important that I had the right people around me who could look after me, recognize when I'm getting distracted, and bring me back to focus on why I'm there really, which is to perform and for the club as far as I can. And that was really key for me to be able to handle the situation and handle the pressure.
And you certainly did stay focused, because from 1986 to 2005 you stayed undefeated in all competitions. Is that right?
Yeah, I went on a really amazing run that, yeah, not many athletes can say that they remained undefeated over 9 years. So, and yeah, it was really, just making the most of my ability, and not getting carried away by success. I'm a big believer that, you shouldn't get defined by what you do in life, and you shouldn't believe your own hype. And it's really important that when you do have success, yes, you celebrate, enjoy the moment, but then when it's over, put it behind you and look forward to the next challenge, the next goal, the next target. And that's really what's helped me to stay motivated. I'm always looking for the next challenge. I'm always trying to get better and trying to improve. And that's really why I do sport, because I love that challenge. I love the competition of trying to get better. And then
I hope you all enjoyed that episode with Stephen. It was a real pleasure having him on. We'll be back next week, 12 o'clock, with Gavin Oates, author, inspirational speaker, and comedian. It was a really great episode, so I'm looking forward to that. And I hope you all have a good week. Thanks for listening.
It's probably, your mindset's a key thing, and having that discipline of having that consistent approach day by day, not getting too high when things are going well, and not getting too down when things are tough. I think the more you can stay even-minded in life, the better. And that's what I always try to do. Me and my coaches, we've always worked really hard on mindset. And it's always been a key part of my training, my preparation. I think, the way you approach training and competition and your mindset determines your performance, and that can be the difference between winning and losing. How you can perform when you really need to under the most pressure, and then that's the biggest difference between world class athletes and athletes that don't quite make it to the top level.
Yeah, that's it. I couldn't agree more, and it's a really strong message to hear it from someone with the success you've had, of course. And going on from that, you've had some injuries in your career, but one thing that really stood out to me was you managed to get the captaincy for 2012, but before that, you were actually recommended to have surgery beforehand, but you decided to put it off so you could compete. And of course, it's an honour to captain your country, but how difficult was that and how hard was that decision to say, I'm going to play through this injury?
Yeah, it was probably the toughest period in my life. It's really hard. I mean, it was a hard period to begin with. I mean, I remember I lost my dad to cancer around the same time. So I had that to deal with. And then I had this hip injury. I was hoping that it would get better with rest. And I rested it, and it didn't get better. And then I went to see a consultant, and the consultant they tried to do keyhole surgery on the hip, but they couldn't get the camera into the joint. And that's when the doctor said, you need a new hip. And it's not going to get better. And that was only a couple of years to go to the game. So it was a tough decision. There was no guarantee that the operation would be successful. They've never done that kind of operation on somebody with my level of cerebral palsy. So there was a lot of things that could go wrong. And really, what it came down to was I wasn't prepared to take the risk of missing a home Paralympics. It's something that I dreamed I could do to compete in my home country Paralympics. And I've been building up to it for 7 years ever since the Games were awarded to London in 2005. So, for me, it wasn't something that I was going to take the risk of missing. And that's why I decided not to have the operation and to carry on. For 2 years, I had to put up with a lot of pain every day, take more and more painkillers. There was times when I felt like giving up. I felt like I couldn't take any more pain, but I kept thinking about what it would be like to compete in the home Paralympics, and I didn't want to miss that. And that really kept me going through the tough times. I think it showed me that if you have something in life that you really want to do, you'll find a way to do it. And you surprise yourself at how much you can dig deep, how much you can take. And that's what happened to me, really.
It's incredibly inspiring for you to be able to not only come through that but compete at the top event, in the world, and to hear that coming from you, it inspires me, and I'm sure it'll inspire anyone listening to it. But did you go, given the series of that injury, did you go into the tournament thinking it could be your last?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I thought. Yeah, there was a big possibility that could be my last Paralympics. I knew I was going to have this operation after the games. And yeah, it's probably the hardest I've ever trained up to the games in my whole life. I put everything into being as fit as I could be, as strong as I could be. But when it came down to it, my body just wasn't fit enough to perform to the level I needed to be at. And I guess that can happen in life, like you can't pick and choose what happens in life. And I would love to have been fully fit in London and been competing to win a medal, but yeah, it just wasn't to be. And I guess my goal was to be there, to be in the team, and to compete at the home Paralympics. And I kind of did that. I kind of achieved that goal.
Very
So,
much so.
in a way, to come through that is probably one of the greatest achievements in my career.
Yeah, and not only did you compete, but you got the captaincy for that event. What was that feeling like?
Yeah, to get the captaincy was a great honor. Yeah, to lead the team at the home Paralympics. Yeah, and I tried to lead by example. After after I competed, yes, I was disappointed with my performance personally, but I knew that I still had to be there for the team, for my teammates, and I had to be in the stand and cheer them on, and be in the village, um, and be available for them, and that's what I did. And to be honest, yeah, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed being there, watching my teammates compete and win medals, win lots of gold medals. Um, and yeah, really, it was a really great feeling to be part of one of the best GB Paralympic teams of all time.
And the way, obviously, you've been in the sport for so long that you clearly deserve that and earned that kind of accolade. For looking at everything you've achieved, have you fully overcame all the injuries we spoke about? Do you now feel as if you're past the worst of that?
Yeah, I mean, after London, I had the operation within a few weeks. I had a new head. It was a big operation. I was in theatre for over 8 hours in the operation. So, yeah, pretty big, serious operation. But thankfully, I had a good team of doctors in Coventry who did an amazing job. Everything went to plan. And then, yeah, thankfully, I was able to get back to being fully fit. Um, and did my rehab over 6, 7 months. Um, and yeah, they did a great job, and I'm really grateful for that. I had the opportunity to come back and have a second career almost. When I thought my career might be over, but I was given that opportunity to come back, and I was determined to make the most, of that opportunity. And yeah, it's testament to that I'm still competing today.
Definitely, and I'm sure we look forward to seeing you in action again. But now that you've been competing for so long, and now you're inspiring sort of the next generation, who was it back then that kind of inspired you to be who you are today?
Well, I think I always think my biggest inspiration are my parents. The way they brought me up, the way they accepted me into their life, and had to change and adapt to me to help me be the best I could be. My parents will always be my biggest inspiration. But yeah, I think when I was younger, the Paralympics weren't as widely covered as they are now. They weren't as popular. To be honest, when I was younger, I didn't really know. I didn't know a lot about the Paralympics. But it wasn't until I started doing sport, and my first coach was a Paralympic athlete, and he competed in Seoul in '88 and Barcelona in '92, and he did the club floor as well, and watching him compete and seeing his medal from Barcelona was a great inspiration for me, and that's why I try and give as much back as I can. I try to inspire other athletes, and I try and do that because I know how much of an impact that had on me.
And you speak about that, but you created the organisation Smile Through Sports. What was the main reason behind that? Your objective behind that?
Yeah, we started Smile Through Sport 7 years ago. And the idea was to use my profile, my kind of inspirational story to help create more opportunities for disabled people to get involved in sport. It was really just looking at the grassroots to helping people just to take part in sport and be more active and get more healthy. Because that's really important. And I think, I know firsthand the benefits of just taking part in sport can be massive, especially for disabled people. So I'm really passionate about that, and I wanted to try and use what I've achieved in my life to give something back. And it's been amazing what we've been able to achieve over the last 7 years. And I'm really proud of everybody who helps us, everybody who works for us. And it's such a great thing that we're doing.
It's an amazing organisation, and your mission, like you say, is something that really is making a difference. It's reading about it and learning about it has done all for me and inspired me in a lot of ways. When you think about what you've achieved and your mission behind that, is your main priority now helping the next generation develop?
Yeah, I think it's really important to keep a Paralympic movement going. We need that next generation coming up behind us. So you can only get that if your opportunities are there. Like, I only got involved in sport because I had the opportunity to take part, the opportunity to try lots of different sports and find out which sport was right for me. So it's really important that we give people these opportunities to take part regularly, and then yeah, once they find which sport is right for them, then there's got to be the pathway in place where they can find a club, find a coach, and start training regularly, get the right facilities, get the opportunities to compete and to make progress. And that's really important.
You obviously you speak passionately about participating in sport and getting more people involved and making the access easier, which is something I'm very passionate about as well. And I feel as though the kind of access to disability sport isn't as out there as it should be. But you mentioned benefits you've had through your life from being in sport. What kind of benefits have you experienced, through sport, but not actually the physical part of it, more so the social side of it and outside of sport?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say I've gained a lot of confidence through sport, and and just by being around people, having to go and travel, and then be part of a team, and that's a big. I can be really helpful to gain that confidence, that independent, or to be independent, and that's really been a big benefit for me through sport. Um, yeah, that's really important. And then yeah, making those connections with other people. Um, I've made friends all over the world. And yeah, one of my best friends is a guy who I shared a room with for five Paralympic Games.
All right.
We shared a room together, and then yeah, became really good friends. I think yeah, sport can do that. You meet people who you build really great, long-lasting relationships with, um, and yeah, you build up these key skills in independence, communication, and confidence.
Yeah, and I think for disabled people, like you say, all those qualities are so important, and it's hard for us to get them as much. And mostly, sport offers that kind of platform for you to develop those kind of feelings and confidence, and being able to put yourself out there.
Yeah, exactly.
And you had, speaking of that, one of the things that I was really inspired by when you were talking was you really passionately mentioned how important it is to enjoy sport and enjoy everything you're doing, such as the name Smile Through Sport. Do you think those kind of sides of it, like socially, like you talked about meeting really good friends, how important is that side of it been to you keeping the consistency and that drive to compete?
Yeah, I think it's a key thing. It's yeah, it's yeah, you gotta be able to keep that motivation to want to get up every day and work really hard. Um, and yeah, you can only do that if you enjoy what you do. Um, yeah, I'm really big on that in life. That yeah, in life, you only get so much time to do things. You only get one life, so I think it's really important to work out what's important to you, what you value the most in life, and to live by those values. And that's what I try and do. I try and do things that I enjoy doing and that are really important to me as a human being. And I think, yeah, if we stick by those principles, and also it's about doing things for the right reason. So, like, yes, I want to win, I want to be successful, but that's not my main reason for doing sport. I do sport because I enjoy the challenge. I enjoy trying to get better, trying to improve. And the mixing with other people, making those connections, and learning more every day. And those are the main reasons I do sport. And yeah, yeah, and if you do that, I think it really helps.
I completely agree, and it's such a strong, positive message to send. And you clearly have the kind of mindset of, so you obviously have a good, strong feeling about yourself and the way you approach everything. And on this podcast, I've spoke about my kind of struggles in terms of overcoming how I see myself in a wheelchair and different elements of that, like mental health wise. Do you obviously now at a point where you've overcame all these things and you're happy with what you're doing and you're really making a difference out there in the world. Was there a time when you felt as if that wouldn't be the case? And I've always felt as though everything I've overcame has helped me become who I am today. So what kind of things did you have to overcome to be who you are today?
Yeah, yeah, I think everybody has a journey on there, accepting who they are. And yeah, I'm exactly the same. I think when you're young, you do tend to compare yourself to other people, and you kind of think, why can't I do that? Why can't I do this? Why am I not like that? Why don't I look like that? And everybody goes through that phase. It's a natural thing in life. But I think as you get older, you start to realize it, you know, everybody is different in their own way, and that's a good thing. Um, it's good to
Yeah.
be different. Um, and I think, yeah, it's just going through that journey of accepting yourself and accepting who you are, and then yeah, and accepting your vulnerabilities as well is really important. Um, and yeah, I think when I was younger, I used to get frustrated and angry and upset and bitter, and lots of different things in life. But that's it's part of growing up. It's part of finding out, understanding about yourself. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think it's important that you try and work through that and understand that nobody's perfect in this life. Nobody can be perfect. So once once you start to really accept who you are and accept that you're not perfect, then I think then you can start to really challenge yourself and put yourself out there and not worry about what people think or what people might say about you. I think that's something that's really helped me um, to get that confidence to go out there and not worry about what I look like or what I sound like. Because if I can accept it, I'm not worried about anybody else.
Yeah, and it's so important to say that because in an age like today where in social media, regardless of any disability you've got or anything, everyone's had a problem. There's like a growing issue with self-image and how people see themselves through social media and things like that. So to have that kind of mindset, how, what would you say if there's someone listening to this that's struggling with how they see themselves? What would be the first piece of advice you'd give them?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is to stop, not compare yourself to other people, and to realize that other people have problems as well. Everybody has issues, and nobody has a perfect life. So yeah, it's really, not to compare yourself to other people, and trying to understand what's really important to you, and understand your key values, and to look at the positive thing, look at what you're good at, look at what you can do, and focus on that.
Yeah, that's a very big part of the message that we spread here and all about ability. You've been in this sport for so long, competing at the top level for so long that it got me wondering. 1986 to now, what do you think? What have been the biggest differences between in the Paralympic sports and disability sports?
The biggest difference is definitely the media coverage, in Ireland, there was next to no media coverage. I, I had to come home and tell people I won a gold medal because nobody knew about it. So that's changed a lot. Yeah, the investment by the government, there's a lot of money goes into Paralympic sport now, which is really fantastic, and it's made a big difference. You can see that in the performance. Paralympic athletes are all professional athletes now. And yeah, you can see the difference in the performance, and that makes for a better spectacle, better competition, and again, that's going to make people want to watch Paralympic sport. So
Yeah,
that's been a big difference.
that's amazing to hear. As somebody that obviously is a big fan of the Paralympics, is to hear the evolution it's been through. How difficult has it been to kind of keep up with the new levels of athletes coming in?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's always hard in Paralympic sport. Yeah, that's the thing about Paralympic sport. There's always new athletes popping up all the time, and yeah, it's not like Olympic sport where it can take years and years for athletes to develop into Olympic athletes. Paralympic athletes can pop up out of the blue. So yeah, you gotta be on your toes, and then always expect the unexpected. But yeah, for me, I've always just tried to focus on myself, and just being the best I can be, doing the best performances I can do. Because really, that's all you can control as an athlete. All you can control is how you perform, how you train. So that's really what I've tried to focus on throughout my career.
Yeah, and I think that's quite lost on a lot of athletes now, where you can get caught up looking at other people and what they're doing and how they're doing. But as you say, it's all about focusing on yourself and what you can do. And and that emphasises your own abilities. And obviously, you've managed to compete for so many years now. That consistency and drive, as we spoke about, is really quite a rare thing. And when you look at different athletes and how, you see them here one time and they can fluctuate, and then you look at your sort of consistency. The difference in that is your mindset and is the way you look at it. And now that you having sort of experienced and accomplished everything you have, you were training to be part of the 2020 Paralympics in Tokyo. What is left for you? What's keeping that drive alive for you? What's left for you to achieve in your mind?
I think the next competition really it's that simple. I'm very good at it. I'm really good at letting go of the past, and it's one thing I really talk about a lot. That the past is gone, it's done. You can't change it. And I'm really good at looking forward and just keep looking to the next goal, the next target. And I always try and look forward with a fresh mindset, and try and approach every competition as if it's a new competition, as if I've never done it before. And to have that enthusiasm, and I think that's what keeps me motivated. That I can let go of what I've done in the past and just think about, okay, I've been a Paralympic champion in the past, but I'm not a Paralympic champion now. I'm not a Paralympic champion next year. So, that's the goal. That's what keeps me motivated.
It's such an amazing mindset to have, and to have that kind of mentality means you're always going to be in with a chance of competing at the top. But physically, through the years with all these injuries you've had, how much have you had to adapt your training and change your approach to suit the athlete you are now to compare to maybe what you once were physically?
Yeah, I have had to adapt over the last few years because I have picked up quite a lot of negative injuries, and I had to accept that I can't train the way I used to when I was younger. My body needs more time to recover, and I have to train in different ways. And really, it's really about doing the bare minimum now that I need to do. And I guess the mental approach is even more important now than it was when I was younger to get that mental approach right. That's really important. So I'm working really hard on that. And it's about learning your body and knowing how your body reacts to different training, and knowing when you need to take more time off, when you need more rest. And I just had to learn to listen to my body and to know when enough's enough. And that's really hard for me because I'm the kind of athlete who I like to train, I like to be busy, and I'm not very good at resting. So I had to learn to get better at that.
Yeah, and to be honest, it's really helpful to hear that from you because I have the same problem. I've overtrained at times and find myself exhausted, and I've went to events in my sport, public football, and being quite done in by the time I got there because I've trained too much beforehand. How Have you ever had a tournament where you've went and you've realised, oh, I've overtrained a bit here, and then look back at it and had to change that from there? And what kind of things did you change for, like, through that time?
Yeah, I think. Well, I had a tough year last year because last year I picked up a shoulder injury early in the year, about March, April. I picked up a shoulder injury. Yeah, I didn't rest enough. I came back too soon. And I started competing way too soon. And then I became a bit obsessive about trying to get I wanted to get to the World Championships. And I kind of just dug myself into a hole, and just got worse and worse as the year went on. And yeah, I ended up missing out on the World Championships. So yeah, that was a hard lesson to take, but I had to look back and say, look, I can't do this anymore. I need to realize when I need to rest. I need to accept when I'm injured and just take the medicine, really. And so over the winter, I worked hard on strengthening my shoulder. Did lots of rehab. I spoke to lots of people to get advice on what I needed to do, what kind of training I need to do, and we've got a much more balanced program now, and it's really helped me. So at the minute, I'm fully fit, so it's a bit frustrating because I want to compete. I feel like I'm in really good shape to compete, but I can't compete, so I just have to keep this going until next year. So hopefully we can get back to competition next year.
And as you say, it's hard to find that balance because that drive and that almost obsessiveness is what gets you to that level because you want it so badly and it's your whole life and it's all about training and putting everything you've got into it. Obviously, you've had great success doing that. So knowing that you've had success doing that but then having to accept you need to change it now, change the way you're doing it. I can imagine that being a really difficult process, but you've came through it and the way you've done it is really inspiring and everything you've achieved and but also the way you came through the down times and the difficulties. Like you say now, you're fully fit, and with the whole COVID situation, you mentioned how you're really always wanting to keep busy and do things. I'm very much the same. What has this experience been like for you during lockdown?
Yeah, at the beginning it was quite weird and it was quite stressful. I guess the hardest thing was the uncertainty, not knowing what was going to happen, not knowing whether the Paralympics was going to happen or not, whether you were going to have to find a way to keep training. So that was quite a difficult period. But yeah, once Tokyo got postponed, I think it was quite good for me and let me have some time off. And to be honest, I probably haven't had any time off in over 25 years, so I probably needed to have a bit of a year off. So I think it's done me good to recharge the batteries, let my body recover, and I've been able to explore different avenues in my life and kind of think about what are the kind of things I want to do when I have to stop competing. So in that way, it's been quite positive.
Yeah, and it gives you that time to kind of look back and reflect and think about, as you say, what the future holds for you. What would you like to do once you finish competing?
Well, yeah, I want to continue the work I'm doing with Smile and building that up. Um, we've just became a charity this week, so we just found
Right.
out we've become a got charity status, so that's really good. So yeah, just continue to work with Smile, and then I'm trained to be a coach, be a personal coach to help people with that lifestyle and business, and yeah, I'm trying to get into that, and I think that's an area that really interests me. And I think it's an area where I could help people to maximize their potential and to fulfill their ambition. So that's something that I'm looking to get into.
Yeah, and by all accounts, it would seem that you're going to be a bouting coach because, as you say, you're aware of the areas that aren't just the physical side of things, it's also your overall lifestyle and your whole approach. And that's evident to see from the way you talk here and what you've achieved. From everything that you've done, how would you like those achievements and what do you want your legacy to be?
Uh, I don't know really. I mean, I, I can't really, it's not really something I can control. So I guess, or I guess my legacy will be whatever people think it's going to be. But um, all I can do is continue to do the right things and to live my life in the right way, and yeah, to live by my values and what's important to me. And yeah, hopefully by doing that, I can continue to inspire people and help to create opportunities for people to do sport and to maximize their potential. And then, yeah, it's all about enjoying life and enjoying what you're doing right now. Not worrying about what's gonna happen in the future or regret what's happened in the past. Um, and that's what I'll continue to do.
Yeah, focus on the present. Exactly. Couldn't agree more. And you know, like you say, that kind of I love that answer because there's so many people that come into sport and the number one thing is they're thinking about is getting that gold and making and achieving that thing and being remembered as somebody that's had a big impact that way. But your message is something that's not really spoke about enough to where it's all about enjoying it. It's all about being enjoying the process, enjoying the journey, and you clearly are. And I think because of that, you will be remembered as one of the most important figures in Paralympic sport history. So it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on, and I think that what you're doing with Smile Through Sport is going to change lives now that you've become a charity as well. And I would encourage everyone listening to check that out. But again, I look forward to seeing you compete. And where can everyone find you, Stephen? Social media.
Where can you what?
Where can everyone find your work and what you're doing and keep up to date with everything you're doing?
So we go myzootsport.co.uk is the website for Smile, and my website is stephenjamesmiller.co.uk. Stephen with a P, obviously. And yeah, I'm on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at Hale Fabio. I'm on Facebook, Stephen Miller NBA. Instagram at Hell501 on Instagram. And so yeah, fine. Come and say hello, and then that's it.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone all about ability will check you out, and it's been really inspiring to talk to you and listen to your story, and your whole way of thinking I'm sure will help so many people, and I look forward to seeing you compete in the next competition, and also what I feel fit, healthy Stephen looks like at this point. I really look forward to watching you compete, and also how you're going to affect the next generation as a coach and through Smile through sport. So thank you again for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure, and best of luck to you in your upcoming events.
Yeah, thanks, Kieran. I really enjoyed being on the podcast, and good luck. Good luck with it. I hope it continues to get bigger and better, and spread the word about Paralympic sport and the power of sport.
Yeah, it's all about trying to give us and disability and every group that's kind of not as heard as strong a voice as possible, and that is what I'm really passionate about, and that is what we're trying to achieve here. So having you on is going to help a lot, and we're just getting started here, so I really appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks, Kieran.
A reminder, this podcast is sponsored by Kyle Financial, who are currently offering free wills for everyone, even if you're not a client. Don't be in the 60% of adults that are will. Call Kyle Financial on 0141 447 0290 or email advice@kylefinancial.co.uk for more information. I hope you all enjoyed that episode with Stephen. It was a real pleasure having him on. We'll be back next week, 12 o'clock, with author, inspirational speaker, and comedian Gavin Oates. It was a really great episode, so I'm looking forward to that. And I hope you all have a good week. Thanks for listening.